are back here on the Cowboys Report Sunday after the NFL Draft. You know what it is. It's undrafted free agency signings. I will make notes. None of these have been officially announced as of signing or as of filming by the Dallas Cowboys. That should come in the not too distant future. And there's been a lot of different reporting on all these out there. So we feel pretty good. These are the 9 signings. I'll come back to why that number matters in a little bit. But we're going to keep covering the Dallas Cowboys. You know, a very popular time of the year around the draft. There's still a lot of discussion to be had around what Mel Kiper thought about the Cowboys draft. Cut candidates, trade targets, free agency, until we get kind of going again with training camp. We got you covered. Hit that sub button at youtube.com/@CowboysTV. So the Cowboys have signed 9 undrafted free agents. We will go more in depth on every single one of these. 2 receivers, Traeshon Holden, the Alabama turned Oregon product. Josh Kelly, most recently with Texas Tech. Rivaldo Fairweather at Auburn. Tyler Neville, by the way, just think about this. All 4 of those guys were all transferred at some point, by the way. FIU, Harvard, Washington State. Tyler Neville, the tight end from Virginia. So 4 there on offense, 5 on defense. Justin Barron, who might be a linebacker, safety hybrid. We'll see what role he actually ends up playing. Bruce Harmon, the cornerback, who went to Stephen F. Austin, I think was a local Dallas Day guy, by the way. Alijah Clark, the safety out of Syracuse. Stephen Jones had said that there was one player who was the best graded player on their board. I wonder who that was. Clark was the one I had graded. I did not grade anybody else, but we still got notes for you guys on him. Zion Childress, the safety out of Kentucky. And Mike Smith Jr., another safety out of Eastern Kentucky. Not surprised to see 3 safeties added. The Cowboys did not have enough safeties to get through the preseason training camp. They needed just bodies at that spot. Now, of note, by my math, the Cowboys do not have enough roster spots to sign 9 undrafted free agents. Now, you could maybe get weird with it with, like, when you sign guys and when you sign draft picks and free agents, but, like, you have to free up roster spots once you get into rookie minicamp and stuff, unless some of these guys end up being, like, sneaky tryout-only guys, which is not the reporting so far. So, Cowboys, I think, will make more roster moves. How intriguing they will be, we'll keep you covered. But it is the pinned comment on today's show. Will the Cowboys make some more roster moves? Y for yes, N for no. If the ad comes on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. We'll go in order of position. I think that's the easy way to do this type of stuff here. Traeshon Holden, the wide receiver out of Oregon, who was the second leading wide receiver for the Ducks this past year, did outperform statistically Evan Stewart as well. Holden has really good size. He's 6'2", he's 205. There's upside there. He wasn't great at Alabama, ends up transferring to Oregon. Up and down at Oregon more than anything else. I don't think separation is really his game. And the athletic testing mostly confirms that. He had a bad vertical, bad 10-yard split. 4.57 is actually pretty solid for a guy that's 6'2", 205. He also got ejected from the Ohio State game for spitting on an opponent and was briefly kicked off the Oregon football team, came back. There was a accusation he pulled a gun on somebody. That charge ended up being dropped, so he came back. He was undrafted on Dane's list as number 50 wide receiver, I think is worth mentioning. Of note, Cowboys hired Junior Adams, who was Holden's wide receiver coach this past year. So there had been some character stuff, but if the receivers coach is bringing him in, probably means the receivers coach fully signed off there on the character there. I think kind of a bigger body, physical wide receiver. Both Traeshon Holden and Josh Kelly are not options to be your number 2 wide receiver. That's not. They're UDFAs. Like, let's set the expectations properly. Can they end up emerging as a player who makes the roster? It's very possible. Josh Kelly had fantastic production this past year. 1,000 yards for Texas Tech, 5 touchdowns, 89 yards. You're going, okay, Power 5 player. Why didn't he end up getting drafted? He's kind of thin at 186. And frankly, this showed up on tape too. The testing wasn't good. A 4.7 40-yard dash at 186 is not a good thing. So for a lot of teams, I think that's like, okay, we can't really draft you, but hey, your film was pretty solid. Let's take a look at you as an undrafted free agent. That's what the Cowboys are doing here with Josh Kelly. We'll spend time on this in the future. Look, wide receiver 2 is still a need. Turpin can do some slot gadgety stuff for you, but Tolbert, Mingo, Brooks, Flanoy, okay. I think Stephen Jones is actually being truthful. Receiver 2 is a question mark. I think 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 is pretty solid. I think the depth, like if you took the receiver 7 through 5 or through 11 on the NFL, Cowboys are in pretty good shape. It's just that it's the number 2 spot that's a huge question mark, and I don't think Kelly or Holden really are likely to fill that spot for you. Today's show is made possible by Mando. Also put out our 2025 NFL draft coverage, which this still counts for. Spring is in the air, which means I get to golf again. I love to walk, not ride 18 holes, and Mando whole body deodorant helps keep me fresh from head to toe. Golf balls aren't the only ones that need to be kept clean after all, and Mando is clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, such as the mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and of course free shipping because it's 2025 and no one wants to pay for shipping. As a special offer for you guys, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code CHAT at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com and use code CHAT. Support our show. Tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. The link, shopmando.com, and the promo code CHAT will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. Appreciate Shop Mando sponsoring us here at the Cowboys Report. Let's go to the 2 tight ends the Cowboys picked up. Rivaldo Fairweather, who began his career at FIU, transferred to Auburn for 2 seasons. This is actually, I do a list of all my guys. I got to like 320-something this year. And I got a list of like, if I have time. I never have time to get back to those guys. I've never had time with a kid now. He was the top tight end I did not get to. A little bit shorter, 6'3", 3/8, 242. Does have 34-inch arms. I think there's some untapped potential for Fairweather as a blocker because of that size. By the way, he was Dane's 20th ranked tight end, by the way. He's not a bad athlete. He's pretty average as an athlete at tight end. I think maybe for the Cowboys, as we'll get into, they're looking for like one more guy to help fill out the back end of the roster at this spot of the 90-man roster. Tyler Neville, again, I did not have a lot of notes here. This was way down Dane's list among tight ends. He was number 72 overall, 6'3" at the position, 239. Harvard transfer. So I am stereotyping here, but if you went to Harvard, I assume you're smart. I don't know if that's like a shocker, but I kind of assume you're smart. Tested pretty well, 7.54 on the relative athletic score. Cowboys have Jake Ferguson. They have Luke Schoonmaker, Brevin Spann-Ford, John Stevens coming off an injury, Princeton Fant as well. I feel like they're going to carry 3 tight ends this year and not 4. We'll see how things play out, but there's some additional competition since I question how much Jake Ferguson, Luke Schoonmaker will play in the preseason, if at all. And then you probably aren't going to give Brevin Spann-Ford more than half. John Stevens is banged up, and now you're just trying to have some more available options for you just to round out that room in camp and in the preseason. What is your favorite undrafted free agency signing by the Cowboys? I'm guessing a lot of you guys are going to say one of the receivers. I'll get to mine later on. It's one of the Syracuse players. Let me know in the comments of today's show. Of the guys we talked about so far, I think Justin Barron has one of the best chances to make the team. He was a wide receiver initially, turned kind of safety, probably more of a linebacker in the NFL at his size. He's almost 6'4". He's 225. That is light for a linebacker. 2-time team captain. Listed as a safety by Syracuse, but he almost exclusively played in the box this past year. So I'm going to list him at linebacker here. This is at linebacker with the relative athletic score, 8.16, a 4.68 40-yard dash. A nice 3-cone, by the way, 6.98. I don't think he's going to be a starter probably on defense. I think there's still inconsistency in coverage and missed some tackles this year. Which is a red flag. He has played over the course of his career 949 special team snaps. So if DeMarvion Overshown, Kenneth Murray, Maurice Leafau, Shamar James are roster locks, I think Jack Sanborn probably makes the roster. Someone like Justin Barron could push and fight a Buddy Johnson and Damone Clark to be that 6th-ish linebacker, and Overshown begins to the pup list, so I guess maybe you cheat there, and that only gives you 5 and 6 are still roster spots then with Overshown banged up. He could carve out that last linebacker spot and be your special teamer, which I think does matter in the NFL these days. Bruce Harmon, the cornerback from Stephen F. Austin. This was Dane's number 55 ranked quarterback. I think ends up being a nickel in the NFL. He's 5'10", 3/4, 202, good size there. Played more nickel this year after a lot of outside stuff in his career. A 4.44 40-yard dash, by the way. The agility scores were very much a red flag, which does concern me. He was a bit more of a straight line athlete, so maybe you have some question marks there. Trigger warning, one of his athletic comps is Boss Man Fat. Not the same. I don't think Bruce Harmon wants to be a rapper, though. So cornerback room is looking different now. And Bland and Josh Butler probably begin Diggs and Josh Butler probably begin the year on the PUP list. I think uphill path for Harmon to make the roster, but is going to get some playing time, I think, in the preseason. How many undrafted free agents, if any, make the Cowboys roster this year? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Very intrigued by Alijah Clark. This is the one guy I had the full-on scouting report for. I had a 7th/undrafted free agent grade on him, and that's where you got him in the end. He's done a lot. He's played a lot of free safety in 2024, but he's also played strong safety, a lot of nickel, almost like a third over the course of his career at those spots. 3-year starter, some special teams value, tested above average as well. 31.5-inch arms at his pro day, by the way. The Cowboys love that stuff. High on the missed tackles. I think overall, I don't know if there's like a defining trait for Alijah Clark, but I think that position flex helps him out as someone who might push for a roster spot or at least a practice squad spot. Zion Childress out of Kentucky, 2 years at Texas State, then jumped up to the Wildcats. 2-time captain, by the way. I feel like we're going back to the Jason Garrett era where you want guys to be a captain. I feel like that's what we're going back with there. Has had a really bad missed tackling problem. 20% career missed tackle rate is too dang high. Didn't do a lot of his testing. I think he plays fast though. He just sometimes, there's no real ball production. 5 pass breakups the past 2 years. Some special teams value though, and I think these safeties will play a lot in the preseason because you're not going to play your top guys for the most part. And that leaves Mike Smith Jr., the safety out of Eastern Kentucky. A couple years at App State, transferred down to EKU. FCS All-American this past season. You got to love the production there, right? 4 interceptions, 10 pass breakups. Played a lot of free safety for EKU, but at 6'1", 209, probably put him some at strong safety if you wanted to at least do some of those split safety looks that NFL teams covet these days. Special teams potential upside there, 7.69 on the relative athletic score. Dane Brugler's 23rd ranked safety. Again, you're not going to play Malik Hooker in the preseason. You're not going to play Donovan Wilson. You're probably not going to play much of Marquise Bell. You're probably not going to play much of Wanye Thomas. So Clark and Childress and Smith, those guys, and maybe if you want to rotate Harmon or a different cornerback there at safety some, I think those guys will get plenty of playing time in the preseason. Not surprised they added several. The Cowboys simply needed bodies.